Usually, superhero movies are this reliable roller coaster, right?
Oh, definitely.
Like, you know the loops, you know the drops.
Yeah.
The hero struggles and then saves the day in a shiny cape.
Yeah, that's the standard formula.
Right. But the ride for the 2026 film Supergirl, it just ends in the middle of outer space.
Quite literally.
Exactly.
Mm.
So today we're diving into the sources to figure out how this highly anticipated, like, plunk rock space western became a massive box office bomb.
A really massive one.
Yeah, we're talking a projected $125 million loss, and we want to see what that means for James Gunn's DC universe.
And just a quick heads up for you before we get into the weeds here. We are absolutely going to spoil the ending of this movie today.
Yeah, we really have to.
Right, because our review contains major spoilers, specifically because the climax is where the biggest controversy lies. So consider yourself warned.
Yes, major spoilers ahead. Okay, so before we look at the financial crash, we really have to appreciate the bold, creative swing director Craig Gillespie took here.
Oh, it was a huge swing.
Yeah. We've got Millie Alcock stepping in as a 23-year-old Kara Zor-El.
And she is definitely not flying around in spandex.
No, not at all. She spends most of the movie drinking whiskey in a Blondie t-shirt.
Which is, such a specific vibe.
It is. To me, this version of Kara is like, that friend we all had in our 20s whose sink is just perpetually full of dirty dishes.
Everyone knows someone like that.
Right. She's this messy, relatable disaster. And that's such a stark contrast to the squeaky clean Superman trope we're so used to.
It really is. It's essentially a gritty Western set among the stars.
Yeah.
And, Alcock's performance was widely praised precisely because she grounds that messiness so well.
She really does.
Like, she's an alien numbing her trauma on planets with red suns just so she can actually feel the effects of alcohol.
She is super dark. And it's funny because critics actually loved her for portraying that trauma.
They really did.
But clearly, critical praise for an indie-style performance doesn't really translate to a $200 million summer blockbuster.
Not even a little bit.
Because the box office numbers are, well, they're frankly disastrous. It opened at just $38 million domestically.
Right. And to put that into perspective for you, that is lower than Morbius and The Marvels.
Ouch.
Yeah, ouch is right. And a big part of the critical backlash is about Ruthie, the young girl Kara is escorting to find the villain Krem.
Right. The whole revenge plot.
Exactly. Ruthie is entirely in the driver's seat of the plot, which leaves Supergirl feeling like a passenger in her own movie.
See, I'm actually going to push back on that a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't think the main issue was her being a passive sidekick.
What do you think it was then?
I think the real problem is that you can't put child death, space trafficking, and a poison dog in a summer blockbuster and expect families to buy tickets.
Well, that is a very fair point.
Right. Krem murders Ruthie's family and poisons Kara's dog, Crypto.
Yeah, poor Crypto.
It's just way too depressing for a popcorn flick.
Exactly. And that grim tone doesn't just alienate families, it completely alienates the hardcore fans when you look at the climax.
And this is where those spoilers come in.
Right, here we go. Because the movie ends with Kara actually murdering Krem. She stabs him to death.
Which is just a staggering deviation from the source material.
It really is.
For fans of Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow comic, that original ending is sacred.
Totally sacred.
Because in the comic, Kara convinces Ruthie that revenge isn't the answer. It proves Kara is emotionally stronger than Clark in a way.
Right.
But by having her stab Krem in the movie, I feel like the studio completely stripped away her moral victory.
Yeah, she isn't just ignoring Superman's optimistic ideals here. She's actively burying them.
Wow, yeah.
By taking the life so Ruthie doesn't have to, Kara takes on the moral burden. She essentially makes herself a martyr to her own trauma.
It's a fascinating character study.
It is, but obviously a terrible financial move.
Right. And yet, despite this wildly polarizing ending and the massive financial loss, DC is keeping Alcock's Supergirl for 2027's Man of Tomorrow.
They are.
So, how does a studio justify keeping the star of a movie that's projected to lose up to $125 million?
Well, by completely shifting their strategy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so by shelving the Authority movie and fast-tracking smaller projects like that horror film Clayface, the studio is showing they aren't married to a rigid 10-year slate anymore. They are using cheaper genre films to test audience appetites without risking another massive financial crater.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they're keeping the overarching universe and the actors they like, but they're adjusting the roadmap and the budgets as they go.
So they took a beloved sunny icon and turned her into a cynical anti-hero.
Yeah.
It was a massive creative risk that ultimately alienated critics and audiences alike.
It really proves that shaking up the formula doesn't guarantee a hit.
Definitely not.
Especially when you fundamentally alter a beloved hero's moral compass.
Which leaves you with a lingering question to mull over. Is taking massive, polarizing creative risks with beloved characters the